Hi, welcome back to Success Today. I am your host, Greg Rollett, and I am very excited for our next guest. She is a highly sought-after speaker, a #1 best-selling author, and a certified dog trainer and life coach who is helping people to live a better life through the power of their dog. Please welcome to Success Today, Kristy Dilworth. Kristy, how are you?
I'm great, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to learn more about what you do and how you help people through their dogs. And right before we were rolling, you were telling me this great story about how you got started in all of this as, what, a 7-year-old, 8-year-old when you got your first dog and just fell in love with all this. Tell me about that.
Yes, so I really wanted a dog, and my mom wasn't too sure about it. When we got the dog, he was a naughty little thing, and it threw us for a loop. And I realized that if we didn't get this dog under control, I would lose him. My mom was not going to put up with all these shenanigans. So I really had to dive in and figure out how to communicate with this dog. And his name was Bacchus. He was so sweet, but oh my gosh, he had my sister and I running around the neighborhood trying to follow him, trying to catch him, knocking my little brother over. It was crazy. But after that, I realized that just learning how to communicate with them can change your whole life. And I started walking dogs at 7 years old for my job because I really wanted to understand not just him, but all dogs, and really how to change people's lives.
So how, I guess this is the big question, right, is how do dogs change our lives? We know how we change their lives. We feed them and give them a nice home, but how do they change our life?
So dogs can bring such joy, but they can also bring a lot of stress if we don't know how to manage it and how to communicate with them. So what I do is I bring the communication and the harmonious living to people and their dogs and show them the right techniques and what really pertains to their dog specifically, because as we all know, every dog is different.
Right.
And we want to custom train the dog. So we want to make sure that everything that dog gets is made for specifically for them. So it really makes a big difference. And if people understood how much power they had in just their own communication and how they relate to the dog, it would just change their lives. So I do that every day, and it just makes me so happy.
That's incredible. Now, when working with your clients, when do they reach out to you? Do they reach out to you before they even get their dog? Is they're thinking about it, like what kind of dog should I get? Or is this like, oh man, this has been like 90 days of pure craziness, we need to fix something? But when do they seek you out?
I will say the most recommended time is before they get their dog.
Of course, right?
Because I can save them a lot of money by helping them pick out the right dog.
Right.
I mean, I can make such a big difference, thousands of dollars in training, and if I can help you pick out the right dog, it can save you so much time and stress in the future. If they already have a dog, the usual time frame is about 2 weeks after they get the dog.
So it's like immediately.
The dog is very good at first, very sweet and docile, and just everything you want. You hold it and you're loving it.
You're in that honeymoon stage, right?
Yes, and then 2 weeks later, they're taking notes. They're like, oh, I can get away with that. I can get away with that. Okay, let me make them fall in love with me first. Let me tell you, okay? They have a plan. Those cute little puppy dog faces, that's for a reason.
Yeah.
But about 2 weeks later, I get the calls almost every time, and they're like, I have a different dog that I did 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it's just when they become more comfortable and they're kind of letting their guard down and they're realizing that they have to kind of take the leadership role, because a lot of people don't know exactly what their role is as far as working with the dogs and showing them leadership and such. So the dogs tend to take over a little bit, and that's where I get a lot of calls. But I also get calls for older dogs a lot, where sometimes, just overnight they will switch. And I had a client, one of my celebrity clients, and her husband is also a high-end executive, and they do a lot of dinner parties. And they have people come over, and they are so excited. They were so excited to have people come over and actually get a dog to greet them and just have fun with them. But 30 days after they got the dog actually bit someone.
Oh,
and
no.
The dog was great before that.
Right.
But they had one of their friends come over with a child, and the dog had been like kind of low growling before and kind of, starting to wag his tail, but he was still growling, and they didn't know really what to do with it. But what happened was they put it in a crate, and the child came over and ran straight over to the dog and wanted to say hi to the dog, put her finger in there, and the dog nipped at her. Ooh. And it was devastating to them because the dog was so good at first. They didn't understand where this came from. So I've actually been working with them, and the dog is totally changing. I've been working with them. They're in a different state, so we do our online coaching, and we've been working with them, and it's just made such a difference. So now the dog is happy and trustworthy again. So it's a big deal.
You mentioned something there, and I wanted to get into that online training and online coaching,
yes,
right? So
yes.
Talk to me about how you work with folks and their dogs, because you're not coming and staying at my house for a couple weeks to fix my dog, are you? Which is probably
No,
best case scenario.
Although I have done that before. So I have dogs do fly to me all the time. I do the board and trains as well in my home. But I do a lot of online video coaching and training with their dog right there. So I can see their dog, I can work with them right there, make a huge difference. The company's smartdogsacademy.com. You can go on there and you can actually sign up for the video coaching or the membership. You can see the webinars. I can teach you, and I can custom plan your training program for your dog. So there's lots of different ways that you can do that.
I think that's really cool because it's still kind of personalized and individualized as
Very
opposed
personalized.
to just an online course. There's nothing wrong with online courses and books and things like that, but you're really working one-on-one to help that person and that dog get the results they want.
Yes, and every dog needs a foundation, so there is definitely a place for online courses, which we have many of them. And so they're really important, but when somebody wants to take it to another level and we really want to custom train that dog, if they're having trouble with certain things, we can absolutely do that. We tailor it to what they need. So we have the online, foundational courses that are really important. If people realize how important and how key it is to have that foundation, the issues would be very small compared to what they are right now.
Now I know your demand has been going up a lot recently. You wrote your #1 best-selling book.
I did.
And now you're going out and doing a lot more speaking. Talk about really your vision. I mean, what do you want to do? You can impact a lot of people and change a lot of lives through this. Talk about the speaking and where you see all this going.
So if people realize the energy that they bring to their dogs, I can actually change an entire room of people at once. I do a lot of one-on-one, but when I reach people and they can all go home that night and have a different relationship with their dog, it makes me so happy. I get emails the next day that just from that seminar that I did, they have a different relationship with their dog. When people are walking down the street, their dogs are either the menace of the neighborhood and they're really embarrassed and they get really tense, or when they go through our online courses or they do the training with me, I can actually create their confidence and have them walking down the street where they're really proud of their dog now, and now their dog is the role model. And when their friends come over, they're all looking up to them and they're like, wow, your dog is really under control. And you know what? It creates a lot of respect there. When that dog is under control and your friends come over, they're like, wow, okay, you've got this thing under control. It's pretty good.
That's really good, and that's got to make you feel good too, and it's got to make them feel good, and it's a big change. And I know there's somebody watching right now, probably my wife, who's saying, Kristy, I need your help. I need you, to work with us. How can someone best learn more, or what's the first step they need to take? Is it, just learn?
The first step is to go right to my website. It's smartdogsacademy.com. I have a free book. You can get that free book right away, and it will get you on the right track. And from there, you can see which program works best for you. You can, reach out to me, and I will definitely help you one-on-one. Or I can come to your event, and I can change an entire room of people and how they relate to their dogs. And let me tell you, that is one of the best gifts you can ever give to someone, is to give them that peace of mind in their own home, because it empowers them to have control over their home again.
Yeah, that is so cool. smartdogsacademy.com. Now, Kristy, before I let you go, there's someone watching right now who's just like, I just need a little bit of help. What is the one piece of advice or the one tip that you would give them if they need to get more control, to have that confidence, to turn that menace into a success? What's that one piece of advice you would give them to be more successful with their dog?
The first piece of advice is, I would say, get training right away. Don't wait. Most people think they can just handle it on their own, but I will tell you, dogs get naughtier. They don't usually get better. They need that professional training, because we know how to communicate with the dogs in their own language. Once you know those techniques, you can teach them anything. So if you can get that training right away, just reach out, and it will make such a huge difference. Getting them to walk next to your side will create that equal relationship where you know that they are counting on you.
Yeah, I think that's so important.
And they build that respect.
Yeah, do it now, do it right away, because every day they're
Yes.
just continuing
Yes.
those bad habits, those bad
Yes.
behaviors, and it's just becoming, well, this is how it is, right?
Yes, and they're learning that they can get away with that.
Exactly.
Because, and you're getting, people are getting more stressed about it, and I want to create that peaceful relationship so that you can have fun with your dog. That's why we all get dogs,
That's
right?
why we got it in the first place.
So we can love them and hold them and have a great time with them, but if they're causing stress and tension, it takes the fun out of it.
And then we want to have fun.
We wanna
wanna
have fun.
And you'll have more fun if you go to
Yes.
smartdogsacademy.com. Check it out, get that free book, get some training, and get started now. Kristy, thank you so much for being here
So
today.
nice to-
I appreciate it. And we'll be back with more from Success Today in just a minute.